Hey everybody, welcome to the Happy Harvest Homestead. Today I'm going to be sharing my thoughts and experiences with using a compost toilet. With the limited research I have done and the even more limited experience I have had with compost toilet so far, I must say that I absolutely love the whole concept and the practical applications of those concepts. I have been experimenting with this compost toilet for about 6 months, and while I am far from expert in anything involving compost toilets, I have done a bit of research and have a bit of hands-on experience, so I have enough rudimentary information to kind of know what I'm doing. As you can see, I have a very basic setup in my teeny tiny camper bathroom. There is just enough room for the toilet itself, which is a 5-gallon bucket with a toilet seat adapter lid thing. You can get them specially, and kind of like a regular 5-gallon bucket lid, you can clip them on to the bucket, and it functions like a regular toilet seat, which is really nice. And then next to it, I have my carbon material that a body would use in place of flushing. For those who may not know, compost toilets are super easy to use, though it is a bit more complex than simply doing your business in a bucket. You will start with a fresh layer of carbon material, which people use a variety of things. I have chosen to go the cheap route by using a bunch of old leaves, and those work okay, but I know some people who are willing to invest more in this whole process. They will use sawdust or wood shavings or wood chips or wood stove pellets. I believe they're more absorbent and they cancel out more smell, or I don't really know, because I haven't tried any of those things. Eventually, maybe someday, I'll get to that point, but for now, I'm happy with what I have. After putting an inch or two of carbon material in the bottom of your empty bucket, you begin the layering process, where you will use the toilet as usual, but instead of flushing, you will add another inch or two of carbon material, and you repeat the same process, adding nitrogen, which is your waste, and then the carbon, nitrogen, carbon, nitrogen, carbon, until your bucket is full. Or in my case, for my weak little arms that can't carry a full 5-gallon bucket, I let it fill up like halfway, and I'll just heft it every once in a while, and when I notice, oh, this is getting pretty heavy, I'll empty it then. For one person who spends only part of their time in this off-grid tiny house, it takes me quite a while to fill up this bucket, so this system works great for me. I can see, though, if you are a large family, how you may need to have multiple buckets, or empty yours multiple times a day. But in my experience so far, the extra work of emptying out a bucket every couple days isn't really that much of a pain. I apologize for interrupting this enthralling video, but I want to take this opportunity to announce that my handmade crochet dish scrubbies are now on sale. I have been perfecting this pattern for years, and me, my family, our friends and neighbors all rave about these scrubbies. They are the perfect size to fit in your hand, and they are very bendable, so you can easily clean the nooks and crannies of your dishes and cutlery. Because they are made with 100% cotton yarn, they are very durable and will last for years, and it is super easy to clean and reuse them. Each pack includes 7 scrubbies, so you can use one each day. Then at the end of the week, take all your dirty scrubbies, put them in a mesh bag, then stick them in your washer and then in your dryer as usual. Then they are all fresh and clean and ready to be used for the next week. The link to my Etsy store is in the description box below this video if you want to check them out. Alright, now back to the video. This dinky little excuse for a compost pile is where I dump my compost toilet material. All I did was dig a shallow trench in the shape of a square, then set 4 little pallets in the trench, and I'm holding them together with hay string, and so far it's holding up pretty well, probably because I don't use it that often. Everything has a chance to settle, and all the liquid has a chance to soak into the soil or run off into the little ditches I've dug, so that it doesn't contaminate the surrounding pasture soil. So if I want to harvest wild, medicinal, or edible plants around here, I totally can without worrying about getting contaminated food. And obviously I am not at this point yet, but eventually the goal will be to fill this whole thing up more and more and more until it's full. And then I've been told you let it sit and compost for either 1 year, or some people do multiple years, and the process of composting and all the heat that's involved with that process will kill all the bad bacteria. And then in a couple years, I will have a wonderful pile of super nutrient-rich, super composted, wonderful, freshly made soil that is disease-free, that can go on the garden or on the pasture, or if I want potted plants, I can put the dirt in the pots, and I can basically use it like any other super high quality dirt without worrying about illness or disease or anything because of the heating up process of the composting. Of course, I haven't experimented with that yet because I'm not to that point, but when I do, I will make sure to update you. In all honesty, up to like a year ago, this whole notion of compost toilets was either non-existent or disgusting to me. But the more I researched it, the more I realized that this is an insanely beneficial tool that a lot of us are not tapping into because we don't know about it or we're squeamish about it. And so many people are missing out on the incredible benefits of humanure and all the awesome stuff it can bring. Especially around here where we just have rock and clay as soil, it will be so nice to be able to build your own soil, and you know for sure where it comes from. You know there's no pesticides on it. You know there's no contamination or anything. Of course, if you're eating a terrible diet, then that will transfer through your waste into the soil you are creating. But if you're eating organically and eating healthy food, then you can be making some of the best soil you have ever seen. It may be a bit perfectionistic and silly of me, but whenever I am doing farm chores or editing or using the electricity or internet at the main house, I will use the restroom there. And I always feel bad flushing the toilet saying, oh no, all this wonderful soil building material is going to waste. I mean, we have a septic tank, so it's not like harming the environment or anything, but it's not like benefiting me either. It's like neutral. And I would prefer that our whole family harnessed the wonderful stuff we are producing to build our soil. But of course, to many people, this whole concept is very foreign and weird. And when I suggested it to them, they did not jump on board, which is okay. They have their agency. They can do what they want. And for a while, I was kind of disappointed with that. But then, as soon as I got my camper, I was like, yes, this is my time. I can experiment with it, try it out, see if I like it. With one person, it is so much easier than with 6 people. And then maybe I can gradually transition my future family over to this. So maybe when I'm a really old lady, all my kids and grandkids will all be using composting toilets, and I will be able to benefit the planet and benefit our world, and a couple more people will be using composting toilets. Because honestly, from my experience so far, I think everybody should. Thanks for watching.